and hi Nonya. This video is a little update about how the progress is with the Duyfken project. So Benno, when you were here in November and December last year, this is where we were up to. John Longley took us around in that little boat, the Rib, and we photographed all the way around the Duyfken and reconstructed it on the outside, but in the middle it's completely empty. And we also had at that time this reconstruction of the main cargo hold, which we can have a look inside of, and I'm just switching this now into high resolution mode. So this is reconstructed quite well. This is just a low res point cloud for draft purposes, but you can see how this is all working. But this is not connected to the rest of the ship. And we also had some other bits and pieces of the ship. And you will remember, I'm sure, the gun, which looks like this. But once again, although there's a lot of detail in here, and I'm just going to change this one into textured mode. Even though there's a lot of detail in here, this is not yet connected to the rest of the ship. So what we have done recently is a very big breakthrough for us, which is that we got the insides of the ship and the outsides of the ship somewhat joined together. And I'm just going to show you that. This was a really big breakthrough for us because it proved that we could join the outside to the inside in a single model. And this is very important for geometric accuracy. So this is the main deck, this is the windlass, this is the crew hatch, this is the cargo hatch, and we can zoom all the way down through here and into the insides of the cargo hold, which once again I can switch into higher res mode for you. So this is an extremely big deal for us. This overcomes a major possible problem with the development of not only the Duyfken model, but any kind of 3D reconstruction. Now, Nonya has seen that, but what's happened since the last time Nonya and I were presenting this work, which was to Charles Jurgen, is we've made some more progress, and we've now got all the parts of the ship joined into one single model, which looks like this. So here we've got the main cargo hatch, the crew hatch, much more detail on the windlass. We've also got the superstructure at the back, the stern or the quarterdeck, whichever you prefer to call this. And we also have much more detail in the front of the ship. So this is all very, very, very good. And the particularly good news is that the geometric accuracy all seems to be holding up. For example, the main mast here, which was photographed above the ship, is lining up really, really well with the bottom of that mast, which is down inside the ship. And that's very, very cool. You can see the lines of the ship look great. It's very straight. And once again, this is giving us a great deal of confidence about the accuracy of the reconstruction. So here we are flying down the main deck and through the back of the ship. Now the other thing that's happened is that all of these little parts are coming together quite nicely. So here is the gun, which I showed you a close-up model of before. And you can see that this is very nicely integrated into its position on the deck. And it's even joined up the barrel correctly. So this side was photographed separately from this side, but you can see how well joined up it is. So this is very, very good news. What this model doesn't have on it is the bottom of the ship. So we can see here the detail of the cargo hold, which of course extends below the waterline. We don't have the bottom of the ship because, of course, when we were photographing it, it was in the water. But in October, the Duyfken is coming out of the water for its regular maintenance, and they're going to clean the bottom. And I've organized with them that they are going to let me know about this, and I'm going to go down and photograph the bottom of the ship. So we will have a complete model of all of it. Now, we are still dealing with some technical issues in the fine detail. In particular, there's all this blue and white snow, as I call it. And this is where the software is making an error. It's recording parts of the sky and where they're close to the rigging. And we're working on 2 or 3 different solutions for getting rid of that. So what will happen next is that we're going to, having assembled the ship, we're going to start processing it in very high res. And that's going to have the whole ship assembled in the kind of detail that we've already proven we can get here in this particular model. Of the gun. So we'll just look at this in its photographic texture. So the ship's going to look in this much detail. So you'll be able to see all of these. I'm just going to zoom in here. You're going to be able to see this much detail on particular key features. And in fact, when I go back in October to reshoot, something we need to think about together is what are the most important parts of the ship that would need to be recorded in this much detail, so that we can prioritize those for the presentation in the interactive parts. And that's the next big step, is to move all of these models into another environment where we can put them into a virtual world and people can interact with them. Okay, so that's the update on the Duyfken.